YouTube voiceover script. You ever meet someone who thinks a clipboard and a title make them the sheriff of the universe? Well, let me tell you about the time my nosy HOA president tried to play cop and got smacked in the face by 15,000 pounds of angry livestock. My name's Clint. I own a small ranch just outside a fancy gated community called Whispering Pines. Keyword, outside. I bought my land specifically to stay free from their snobby HOA rules. I raise cattle, live simply, and enjoy not having anyone tell me what color my mailbox should be. Enter Randall Trask, the self-appointed savior of suburban order. Randall's the HOA president of Whispering Pines. Think Napoleon complex in khaki slacks. For reasons only his therapist could understand. Randall decided that my property, which shares a border with the HOA's neglected nature preserve, was some kind of visual offense to his HOA kingdom. It started small. He sent a letter delivered by a very nervous HOA secretary complaining that my fence clashed with their community's aesthetic. My fence. On my land. I replied politely, not your business. Not your jurisdiction. Next came a demand to trim my oak trees. Apparently, the shade they cast in late afternoon was upsetting the ambience of their community relaxation zone. I kid you not. I suggested maybe they plant shade-loving flowers. That didn't go over well. Randall just couldn't accept that I wasn't under his thumb. He started making inspections near my property line, clipboard in hand, pretending he had the power to judge my barn's visual impact on his cookie-cutter paradise. When I told him, again, he had no authority here, he puffed up and muttered about protecting property values. Now, I've got 5 bulls, massive, muscular beasts I use for breeding, gentle if left alone, but not the kind of animals you surprise. I keep them secured, fenced, and clearly marked with no trespassing signs. You'd have to be blind or willfully stupid to miss them. But Randall wasn't working alone. He had a loyal minion named Craig, the HOA treasurer and an ex-mall cop with a chip on his shoulder. Randall and Craig formed what they called the Property Adjacency Task Force. Their mission? Harass me under the pretense of community safety. They started hovering near my barn with binoculars. I caught them pointing, whispering, taking notes. I documented everything: dates, photos, video. One day, they even demanded to inspect my barn for structural hazards. I laughed in their faces. You want to check on my barn? Get a warrant, or better yet, get off my land. That seemed to shut them up. For a while. Then came the break-in. I had gone into town for supplies. When I came back, something felt wrong. The padlock on my barn door, industrial grade, weatherproof, was mangled on the ground. Deep gouges around the frame. My heart sank. I ran inside. The bulls were still in their stalls. Thank God, but they were not happy. Pacing. Huffing. Stomping. One had kicked his stall so hard a board splintered. Water buckets were overturned. They scattered. Someone had spooked them bad. Nothing was stolen, just chaos. And outside? Clear boot prints. One set looked a lot like Craig's orthopedic loafers. Even better? Fresh tire tracks headed straight back to Whispering Pines. I was livid. This wasn't just annoying Anna Marie, it was criminal. I called the sheriff. Deputy arrived, took photos, documented everything. I told him the whole story. He shook his head and said, "These HOA guys sometimes think they're the law. Cameras. My friend. Get them. Now." So I did. Hi-res. Motion sensor. Full property coverage. Meanwhile, gossip spreads fast in Whispering Pines. A friendly neighbor, let's call her Jenny, called me. "You are not gonna believe this," she whispered. Apparently, Randall and Craig returned from their little adventure scratched, bruised, and shaken. Craig had a limp and torn pants. Randall had a scratch down his cheek and twigs in his hair. Their cover story? They were doing a perimeter inspection when my dangerous livestock attacked them near the fence. Nice try. I confronted them the next day. Calm. On camera. Randall. Craig. I said. Deputy came by yesterday. Someone broke into my barn. Destroyed a lock. Spooked my bulls. Randall tried to act surprised. Sounds like a security issue on your end. I kept going. Funny thing is, y'all were seen limping back from my direction. Right around the same time. Craig. Leg doing okay? Craig went ghost white. Randall sputtered about bulls being aggressive. That was the slip-up I needed. Wait. I said, they attacked you? On my property? Behind a locked door? After you broke in? Boom. Silence. Caught. They stormed off, claiming I was harassing them. But I had what I needed. I put everything in a legal packet. Sheriff's report. Photos. Audio of the confrontation. Witness statements. My lawyer loved it. Said I had solid grounds for trespassing, vandalism, and emotional distress. Even better, their HOA insurance wouldn't cover illegal acts. That meant Randall and Craig were personally on the hook. We sent a demand letter, pay for the repairs, security system, legal fees, and issue a public apology or we sue. But I wasn't done. I made sure every resident in Whispering Pines got a quiet little flyer. An illegal incident occurred involving HOA reps. May affect your dues. You better believe that got their attention. The board panicked. Insurance company opened an investigation. Randall's hero story crumbled. Board members turned on him fast. Then the sheriff filed charges. Trespassing and vandalism. Randall and Craig were toast. They settled. Paid for everything. Sent a signed apology except Randall, who wasn't allowed to sign. And both of them were forced to resign from the HOA. Last I saw them, they were slinking out of court like beaten dogs. My barn? Reinforced. My bulls? Chill as ever. My land? Secure. My peace? Restored. And Randall? He learned the hard way. Just because you wear a polo with an HOA logo doesn't mean you're above the law. So what do you think? Have you ever dealt with an HOA that overstepped? Ever had a neighbor try to bully you with fake authority? Drop your story in the comments. I want to hear the wildest HOA drama you've ever seen.